Are they the worst? That is the question being asked today about Taiyaki Studios, the backers of the VTuber Lola Loading, a rapid space buccaneer whose talent was formerly Waifu Baby, a 3D virtual music artist. Waifu Baby now having reached out directly to TVS to explain the story of what happened with Lola Loading, a story that involves doxing, burnout, and more. Waifu now having been locked out of the Lola Loading social accounts, as well as being removed from the Discords, all before this important announcement from Taiyaki Studios, stating, "Dear Lola Loading community, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the conclusion of the Lola Loading project. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, we won't be able to host a graduation stream. We are as devastated as you are by this news. Our team poured heart and soul into supporting Lola and her wee woes." Stating further, out of respect for the privacy of those involved, we are unable to share additional details. Don't worry, we'll be doing that for you in a moment. Lastly saying, we are deeply sorry that we are not able to provide closure for Lola fans. Lola's main YouTube channel and Spotify will remain live. Lola's Discord, along with all other channels and accounts, will be taken down. Signed, the Taiyaki Studios team. So, just what happened here? Well, as it turns out, it all began December of last year, when the multi-million-dollar invested company Taiyaki Studios looked into buying the Waifu Baby brand. The company that owns that brand, Giga, unfortunately was not able to come to an agreement on that, but Taiyaki Studios moved ahead, offering even more support for Waifu Baby as well as health insurance benefits. Waifu Baby taking this opportunity to secure those benefits, but also needing to move across country. And so the Lola Loading project was launched, with unfortunately many aspects being immediately rushed. Waifu, now Lola, was now a part of a company with $8 million in investments, and was also given loads more support, including music mixers, music masters, an assigned 3D developer, along with 4 other individuals just for marketing. Taiyaki Studios at this time had nearly 20 projects running. All of them then dropped to support Lola. But with that focus also came a rush, dictating that Lola would need to debut in only 3 weeks. This leading to a graduation stream of Waifu Baby, wherein at the end, she directly led her followers to then follow Lola, her new VTuber self. Waifu then was given the opportunity to design her new model, then providing this long-haired design, but due to the rush to debut, her 3D model then became rushed, no longer including long hair, but instead using hair found on Booth, a head that didn't quite fit onto the body, and a body that was from a VR chat model, as then at least the face was given its own original modeling. Lola's debut was nothing like she had envisioned either, as also joining her on stream were the Weewos, digital representations that chat members could make of themselves to join in on the stream. This idea of gamifying the streams coming from Taiyaki Studios, who then implemented a 10-minute timer on the streams, so that every 10 minutes a game would begin between Lola and the Weewos. This approach not only interrupting the flow of Lola's streams, making any type of long-form content very difficult to achieve, but also arguably not trusting her as a streamer, instead thinking the audience needs flashy things to happen on stream at random times, or otherwise they'll become bored. This decision then eventually making Lola feel that she was less of a streamer talking with her community and more of a host for someone else's stream. And then came another baffling decision from Taiyaki Studios to have Lola online at all times. Many viewers, myself included, confused when they would see Lola streaming to around 30 to 50 different viewers, but in actuality, she was not live. The stream instead running a pre-canned animation of Lola explaining a game to the audience, and of course with no actual live host, receiving very little engagement, and also making it even further more confusing as to when she actually was live. Lola then feeling that this approach was absolutely wrecking her chances to become partner on Twitch, an achievement that requires a higher concurrent viewer average. Months in, this talent was successful in telling Taiyaki Studios to stop this approach, and eventually, yes, just before the end of this project, she did achieve chief partner on Twitch.tv. And along with that, other problems began, as Lola would then need to wait 2 months after her debut to receive any type of actual screen to react to video content with, a major staple of her waifu baby streams as seen here. But even wilder, she would have to wait months just to receive a rendered chair to sit down in. That's right, as the Lola loading project went on, more and more streams were demanded of her, with the expectation that this performer has to be standing the entire time, all simply because a chair was not modeled for her until later. At times, this performer would actually lay down on the ground in a bit of exaggerated showmanship, but in actuality, she was just tired and needed to sit down for even half a moment. This all being performed in a dedicated 3D studio for Lola, as Lola shared with TBS that during 1 week, the air conditioning was not functioning, leading to this talent while wearing a motion capture suit for hours on end and then days on end to perform in a studio that was running at 98 degrees Fahrenheit, which is above 36 degrees Celsius. Unfortunately, at this time, things were also not well for Taiyaki Studios, losing not just 2 of their 3 founders, but the remaining founder being associated to a for-profit coding school that had been sued over allegedly predatory student contracts. And during all of this, that $8 million of investments was being gutted, and then leading to the Lola loading project to lose numerous team members, including all of those associated with making music, one of the big appeals for Lola even joining. That said, there was still an expectation that Lola create a new song once a week. Yes, that's right, an original, brand new song created once a week, which includes writing lyrics, recording lyrics, placing that recording to a mix, and so much more, including even choreography. Lola would find herself then streaming for hours on end at the studio, and then staying around for hours after that, day after day, working on her music. And while on TaiyakiStudios.com, they claim they are empowering VTubers with technology. And so then eventually, Lola had no project manager, no one helping with her music, and no video editors. Taiyaki Studios at that time basically asking, why pay for those when Lola can do it? That not being a part of the reason why she joined or any agreement that she made, Lola would continue to create her own thumbnails and videos as the burnout began to set in. Lola then sharing with Taiyaki how challenging it is to create one brand new original song a week. Taiyaki Studios then offering to create AI-generated music with her voice, which Lola unsurprisingly was not comfortable with, and that subject was then dropped. This then leading to early July, where Lola would ask for time off to meet up with her friends at Anime Expo. That time off being approved by Taiyaki, but then during this event, Taiyaki reaching out to Lola, asking her if she can come in to record for an upcoming Phillian talent show. This talent show occurring in only a matter of 2 days. Lola then did drop her plans and did record her piece for the Phillian talent show, but then things got a little weird. All while Lola had actually been asked to create a spreadsheet of all of her friends, with Lola then finding out that her social media manager had been reaching out to her friends for collabs. That's right, Haruka, you probably weren't actually talking to Lola at the time you thought you were talking to her. Lola continuing on with those collabs, but still making clear how uncomfortable she was about that approach. As then, after Anime Expo, new meetings between Lola and the founder were being held, with the founder pointing out things that he thought she was doing wrong. These new meetings also coming after Lola was asking for better splits, that being a better share of the revenue. As it turned out, she was actually making more with her previous company as Waifu Baby. Lola being happy with the increasing viewership numbers, but also needing to deal with increased taxes due to having moved to the area where the studio was located. Meanwhile, Taiyaki Studios had actually, as part of the deal, agreed to take care of the rest of Waifu Baby's merchandise for her fans, eventually just deciding to ship it out themselves, and in the process, doxing the location of the streaming studio. That's right, on the merchandise itself, it included the actual address, not a P.O. box, but the actual address of the studio where this talent was streaming day in, day out. But the doxing of Lola did not end there, as all of her original songs were being placed on Spotify. In 2 separate instances, her real first and last name were included on the track tracks uploaded to Spotify. That not being recognized until 2 days later, and then many more days for Spotify then to take the songs down. Lola herself wondering where this investment funding was going, as the math simply never made sense to her. Not seeing millions of dollars being spent on the Lola Loading project, or even thousands of dollars, as in her estimation, only seeing hundreds of dollars being spent on the project. At this point, it was simply too much for Lola, and she had asked to resign. Taiyaki Studios then accepting that resignation and planning for her graduation stream to be on October 1st of this year. Lola being asked of two things before she left. Firstly, to record a short animated series. This recording expected to be done on September 18th. And then lastly, being asked to fill out non-disclosure agreements, where then Taiyaki Studios would enroll this talent into Cobra Health Insurance after she had left. However, to Lola's surprise, she not only was locked out of her social media accounts, but also her Discords just before the announcement of the conclusion of the Lola Loading project was made by Taiyaki Studios. Lola then speaking with legal counsel and deciding not to sign any non-disclosure agreements, and now finalizing all business with Taiyaki Studios yesterday, September 18th. Taiyaki Studios now clearing out their LinkedIn listing and listing no further information about empowering VTubers with technology. Taiyaki Studios still originally having plans to begin more recruitment at TwitchCon coming up in October. And Lola at this time having no access to her social media accounts as either Lola or Waifu. That said, Lola/Waifu does have a new Discord. That link provided in the description below, along with this message thanking her fans for the years of support. And perhaps this will not be the last we hear from her. And that is all for this episode. We will be back with more comprehensive coverage finally in our next episode. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Send in your VTuber news to our Discord, and we'll have more things VTubers say for you soon.